It's Christmas Eve, or rather the night before Christmas, a festival that is celebrated by Christians worldwide. So it is appropriate that we mention in our program what Christmas means for us here in Sri Lanka. The Christian community includes both the Sinhalese and the Tamils, a religion that unites two ethnicities. So what significant role does this community play in the country, especially in the context of the ongoing conflict that has disproportionately affected the Tamils of Sri Lanka? Tarika spoke to the Archbishop Oswald Gomis about how this season could be used as an opportunity to consider the role of religion and spiritual values in bringing about peace in Sri Lanka in the future.
Your Grace, the Christian and Catholic communities celebrate Christmas 2008 tomorrow. What would you say is the spirit of the season, and what are the overarching issues that we should be thinking about at this time of year?
Christmas is essentially a religious festival. In the sense, it is a commemoration of the birth of Jesus Christ, whom, according to our faith, is the Son of God become man. And as such, we celebrate the birth of a Redeemer who came to save the world from sin. Therefore, naturally, the spirit of Christmas should be forgiving each other, making peace with each other, loving each other, and beginning a new life.
Now, Sri Lanka's Catholic and Christian community is a very unique one because it straddles two ethnic groups. What do you think is the impact of this unifying factor?
The fact is that we are a bridge between the two groups, and we are happy to be in that position, though blamed. We have always strived to be very clear in our principles, namely, both the bishops of the Tamil side as well as the Sinhala side have very clearly accepted the fact that we are living in one country and not in two countries. Therefore, division is not our aim at all. We don't support a division. We are for one united Sri Lanka. But we always emphasize that if people are to live in peace, there should be justice and equality. So, we have always championed the cause of people who have been treated unjustly, and whatever the race, whatever the caste, whatever the religion, if there is injustice, there is no peace.
These are times when diversity is a catchword of sorts, but intolerance too is more than ever entrenched in society. As you know, attacks on churches have been on the rise throughout the year. What impact do you think this has had on the Sri Lankan Catholic and Christian community?
I must say that there is a great misconception in this country about the Christian community. Now, when you talk of a Christian community, there are at least three major categories. One, the Catholic Church, which I represent with the other bishops of Sri Lanka. Then there are what are called the traditional churches, like the Anglican Church, the Methodist Church, the Baptist Church, and so on. Now that is what is called the National Christian Council. Then there is a third group of Christian communities or sects that have arrived in the country. And I should sadly say that most of these attacks have been against that third category because sometimes the evangelization, so-called, is aggressive. Now, we of the traditional churches, namely the Protestant churches as we talk of them, and the Catholic Church, we don't engage ourselves in any unethical or aggressive conversions. If people are convinced, we have had Catholics who have left the faith, we have had other religious groups who have embraced Christianity. So that is a matter of personal conviction.
And finally, what would you like to see in the year to come?
The first thing I would like to see is the dawn of peace. You know that we have been fighting now for more than 20 years. Of course, the battle is even has its origins even before, but certainly we have fought a very grave war for at least 20 years. Now, are we going to fight all the time? I don't say anything about the present situation of the war, but what I hope is that peace will come to this land when all segments of people in this country who claim to be Sri Lankans will live in peace with each other. That is my first hope. And this cannot be achieved as long as at least the two major political groups get together. If there is a division, we will never achieve a solution which will be just and acceptable to all. So, divided we perish, united we flourish.